Friends, welcome. It is May the 22nd, 2022. Virtual Strangers episode 152. I, of course, am your host, Wes. With me, as always, is my good friend, Ruuts. Ruuts, how are you doing this fine Sunday evening?
Good. It's actually an afternoon for me, but Wes, I'm feeling a little bizarre right now. I feel like I should be roaming the forest, looking for my next victim, sucking their blood, and just going crazy in some V Rising because that game is super addictive for a flat game, unique survival vampire game. Uh, it's just crazy. Open world, multiplayer, PvP if you want it, kind of like Rust. You castle building. It's insane, but yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of V Rising. It's like a isometric deal, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like Diablo or kind of like World of Warcraft in a sense. I mean, you can zoom down a little bit closer. It's up from a top view. But it's just really cool that the mechanics, and you it actually has a day-night cycle, and you can't be outside during the sun, um and it's just really addictive, really cool. I don't think I've done much of anything the last couple days since it came out, except since I got my Rift S, and now I'm going into all these mods, and I went into Half-Life 2 VR before the show just to check it out real quick. I spent an hour and a half in there. I got to the airboat thing or whatever. I was like, this is so cool. I came out and I thought I had 15 minutes for the show. I'm like, oh my God. It was crazy. It was super cool and really, really crazy.
So yeah, for those of you who have been following our channel for the past few weeks, we have deemed this Mod Month #2, which is kind of interesting because when we kind of joked around about it being Mod Month, we had no idea that all this stuff would be dropping this month. I mean, we did have an idea, but we didn't really know. But one of the things that that I mentioned when we were talking about Elden Ring and some of the performance issues that we uh, had experienced when trying to use the VR mod for Elden Ring, um, was that maybe it would run better on a Rift S. But Paradise Decay, had a way better experience than either of us did. And he had made the point that, well, this is the reason why I keep my Rift S around. So, you know, the Luke Ross mods I've never had much luck with,
Hmm.
and I've decided then and there that I'm going to be resolved. I'm going to get these mods working the best that I possibly can. But before I put that kind of time into really tweaking and optimizing it, I wanted to pick up a Rift S because it's a native Oculus PCVR headset. Uh, Coincidentally, one that has a little bit lower of a resolution, so it's a little less resource hungry to run that headset. And I guess I must have been pretty persuasive, Roots, because well, here we are 7 to 10 days later, and you picked one up before I did.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, you were persuasive, and I convinced myself last week when I was, our last show, when I was ranting about and just having a PC VR headset that I can plug in to a display port and not have to deal with all the weirdness. I mean, every time I put the Quest 2 on, even if I'm just doing a standalone, it takes like 2 minutes to get in, and I got to redraw the thing, and it's doing this weird thing where it kind of loads up, but it doesn't show me my account, and so then I got to do a quick restart, and then I can finally log in, and then Airlink or wired link, either it runs good or it runs like shit, and just even streaming. Like last night we played Pop 1 and Demio. I had a flawless experience on every level. I didn't even have the mic weirdness that sometimes I used to have, robo weird mic. But like you said, with the Rift S, I'm sure it's coming. It does have its flaws. It's not a perfect
Right.
experience, but for what I'm using it for, it's great. And then there's the mods, dude. Like everything I ran today, and last night Resident Evil 7's the only exception. I'm still having issues with that for some reason. But Resident Evil 8, Elden Ring ran better than it's ever ran, even though it already ran amazing. So it's I definitely think there's something to that direct connection, not having that latency or not having encode and all that extra bullshit that it's doing, right?
Yeah, man. And to hear you say that, it really makes me feel good because I think I just struck up a deal myself. And by the time we reconvene here next week, I think that I will have a few days in my Rift S, hopefully. But what you're saying is the truth. Like when Oculus Quest um, launched, obviously it didn't have the laundry list of awesome features that it has now. But with that said, it was seamless back then. Like everything worked as advertised.
Mm.
But as time has gone on and they've added more things, be it, Oculus Link or hand tracking, support for different keyboards, pass through. I mean, they've added everything into this headset. The more stuff they add, it seems like the less well it works on just the basic stuff. And, you know, especially when I'm using it as a PC headset, there's very few occasions that I can just pick it up, plug it in, turn it on, and it works. I always have to restart my computer a couple times, restart the Quest a couple times, and it's a 10 or 15 minute deal, you know, on the low end in most cases, just to get this thing up and running correctly. And when you're doing like the stuff we're doing, like with On Location, and you're meeting game developers from all over the world in VR, it's kind of a big deal that 15 minutes, right? So it does, encourage me a bit to hear that, as I suspected, the native Oculus PC experience is a little less or a little more seamless,
Yeah.
and that it just makes me more resolved and more confident in my decision to go that route. Even having the WMR native PC headset, um, which by the way works really well for native PC games, but it's resource hungry. And if you're talking about playing AAA games in VR that weren't meant for VR, every little bit of performance that you can get helps. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to move into the last gen.
It's crazy, right? But like PD said, the lower hertz, the refresh rate, I mean, or the resolution, everything makes it a little bit easier, as well as the encoding, and this is the thing. Like, I wasn't even meaning to go into VR, um, for Half-Life 2 or anything. I just decided, you know what? I saw in the notes that Wes had put Rift S because he probably knew that I was going to talk about it, and that's a good conversation. And so I thought, well, let me just go check out one more mod, Half-Life 2 VR, right? So I pick up the headset, I put it on, and I literally was shocked again because I was in VR like all of a sudden the thing's there and I'm ready to pop right in, and it ran so well, and I got sucked into the game, and it that's the thing. Like, even when I played these mods before and they ran good, it didn't run so good that I could get sucked into the game. I was always monitoring, and this one I was just like, "Fuck, man!" It ran so good that I just got sucked into the experience. It was cool.
So yeah, yeah. Looking forward to getting back in there. How does the LCD panel on that thing look as compared to our the way we remember it?
I thought it looked amazing, beautiful. Every game I was playing looked uh, like, even the way when I was playing Half-Life 2, it's like, man, this looks really good. And I didn't have anything super sampled either, so I just wanted to go in and play the thing and have it run good, and it looked really good. So
Yeah, and I've been meaning lately. I've had Stormland and Asgard's Wrath installed on my machine for about 6 weeks now, meaning to get back into both of those games. And I kind of look forward to being able to do it now, obviously on the headset that those games were optimized for. But also, I mean, when I had Rift S before, I didn't have a 3080 pushing it.
mm,
You know what I mean?
you're gonna be able
Now I do.
you're gonna crank the shit out of it.
Right.
Now my only
Right.
problem I had is we went into pop one last night, and I thought, fuck man, like I told Mash, I was like, I don't, how am I gonna do it without the Mr. Tass? I've gotten so used to using that gun stock, right? I feel like I'm only good with the right sniper because of it. So I thought I'd do a Hail Mary and I would check the and see if they would fit. And I figured out for TAS that it's 100% the exact. I mean, they're so similar, the controllers, that I hooked it up and was able to use the Mr. TAS. So if you want to get a mini Mr. TAS, or I don't know what it's called now, mini Mr. Mag TAS, whatever, he's changing his names.
Magtastic.
Yeah, the Magtastic. This will work. This will work on your Rift S, or Quest 1, Quest 2, whatever. They're gonna fit the same mold, I would imagine, for the Quest 1.
Well, yeah, well, it's the exact same controllers. The Rift S and Quest Run use the exact same controller. They're interchangeable. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it works for everything.
Yep. Cool.
And one more thing about the Rift S before we move on from it, comfortable, right? Like that's one thing that probably I remember above all about my experience when I did own a Rift S was, I mean, it's right there with PlayStation VR with that Halo style headband that the thing comes with.
It's amazing. I honestly, I don't see my this is gonna sound weird. I don't see myself playing PCVR with the Quest 2 anymore. I get it. It plays PCVR and it plays Quest 2. And what's funny as I'm saying this, you could go back and you could
But bro, it's got a cable, bro.
that's what
Count me out.
well, that's the thing. It didn't bother me at all. But what I was going to say, which is ironic, and if somebody wants to do this, can go clip these out. We've had 2 or 3 conversations of this. Every time I've either got rid of my Rift S, got my Rift S, got back to the Quest 2, and I'm always saying I'm always pinpointing the negatives. I get it. But for me, the experience I've had in the last day and a half, 2 days, made me realize that friction has been keeping me out of VR. Like that 15 minutes I don't even realize it. I'm thinking I'm not going to pick up the headset because am I going to get into the game? So I predict that it's either going to be standalone games I play on it or Supernatural. Well, I guess that is a standalone game. That's it. I don't see myself playing too many PC VR games unless it's something that like Eye of the Temple or something that really utilizes uh, the wireless. Then I will.
Right. And speaking of standalone games, I think I forgot to mention to you guys the show account, the Virtual Strangers account, had a 30% code that was
Ooh.
expiring the other day. So I needed to grab something quickly and picked up Blaze Rush. So we've got access to that
Oh,
now. I know
nice.
our good friend Paradise Decay, who's in the chat, did an awesome Blaze Rush video today. And the title of the thing was, How come nobody's playing this awesome game? So I think we need to be checking that one out here pretty soon as well.
Yeah, it's multiplayer. I might have to pick it up myself so I can play it with you, or we can play it multi.
Yeah. I think we might have a way to do that already, but we'll talk about that off the air. Um, as we mentioned before, it is Mod Month here on the Virtual Strangers channel and in the VR world in general. And last Wednesday, we did a real time review of the Resident Evil Village VR mod. And, you know, as predicted, since the end of the show on Wednesday, I've been back in there a couple of
Mm,
times, Roots. Spent a lot of time playing that game this week. And a couple more impressions. First of all, man, what a beautiful game in VR. I don't know. Uh, I mean, Half Life Alex is really the only other thing I can think of. It's on this level of clarity and detail. Just absolutely stunning in VR.
yeah, it's gorgeous. The whole thing is amazing. Now, I have questions for you, Wes, about this Resident Evil 8 that you've gone back into 2 or 3 times. Because I've gone into it a couple times just in the last day. When I watched, and I guess I did it on flat, and I probably was okay. When I watched your video and the chaos in that one room, because I got to a point and I was like, I don't know why did that take? Why was it so chaotic for him? And then I got to the actual point where it got to chaos, and I keep dying. I can't pass it, dude. I know exactly why it was chaotic for you. You were running around. You were crazy, dude. Fucking killing shit with shotguns. There's so many of those things in my face that I just keep dying, bro. It's very scary, and it reminded me so much of the feeling of Jack, because those. I mean, when when you're in VR and those things jump in your face or they're dropped down from somewhere, you want to run because they really will jack you up quick, and it's scary. Good scary.
Yeah, and as you get going on into the game, and it's not all balls to the wall, high octane action all the time, which there's a lot of that. Don't get me wrong, but there are sections that are stealth, and these things are hiding in the
Mm.
bushes, and you don't see them, but you can hear them. You know they're there, and you don't want them to see you. It's nerve wracking, and it is very reminiscent of trying to get around Jack and Marguerite, even in Resident Evil 7. But the reason why I'm bringing it up um, is I've come to a realization upon playing this game more that this game is not Resident Evil 7. It's very, very different. Even though it is a sequel, technically, from a story perspective, the tone of the game is very different. And it's a lot more like Resident Evil 4, in my opinion, than it is like Resident Evil 7. Um, there are certainly terrifying horror sequences in the game, but this is just more of a dark action game, really, than it is a straight up terror game with the evil characters in the game. Some of them, um, I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. I got a glimpse into what's going to be coming on later in the game, and I don't know how I'm going to feel about this stuff, man. Some of it is just downright silly, almost cartoonish in a way.
Well, that's kind of weird. Well, you could tell that the beginning, right? Uh, the baby and I was holding the baby in the palm of my hand like like a football, bro. I felt like throwing it. But yeah, I felt like the beginning wasn't as like when you get into Resident Evil 7, man, you're dropped into this horror shit show where you're sitting at the table and they're eating guts in front of you, and you're about to be the feast, right? Um, that's different than what's going on here. It is definitely a lot more action packed for sure. I mean, already right off the bat, but it's a different feel. I agree. It's more like Resident Evil 4 for sure.
Yeah, and they even use the inventory system from Resident Evil 4. It's not all VR'd out like with Resident Evil 4 where you're literally grabbing stuff and moving it around. But it's that same system. You have to make room for it. You'll find merchants or the same merchant will greet you throughout the game where you buy items and upgrade your weapons. It's
Mm.
very much the same system on a technical level as Resident Evil 4. Um, but I'm all good with that. It's just you'll see what I'm talking about when you get a little further into the game. Some of the big bad villains are just silly, man. They're just silly. Even the merchant. Have you seen the merchant, the guy you buy stuff from in this game?
Yeah,
Have you seen him yet?
I have, and I think I have maybe I'm thinking of 4 for some reason.
This guy is like a distant relative of Santa Claus, I think, because when he laughs, he shakes like a bowl full of jelly.
Well, I definitely excited to check it out. I'm enjoying it. It's definitely a really good game. Um, and
Yeah.
it's hard. At least that part that I'm at right now, the very beginning, is actually pretty hard for me for some reason. I'll tell you, I will retract this, and I guess I didn't say that it wasn't. I had questions last time as far as the viability, or not even really questions. I just thought it was weird, that you're using the guns and there's so much focus on being able to use your hands, but you can't grab anything. But the gunplay is so good, especially with the shotgun or whatever it is you're using. Um, it's definitely different. Although I thought there was something at one point I was using my head to aim with it, and I don't know how I was doing that, but that was weird.
Uh, I think I know. I think I know. What it is the game. If you stand still instead of moving for, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 seconds, the game kind of locks you into place and it kicks you back into like a head aiming mode where your hand tracking goes away for a minute
Hmm.
until you start walking again in the game. So that's probably what you
Yeah,
experienced.
because I was like, whoa, how am I aiming with my head? And then all of a sudden I did something and it was gone. And I was like, wow, okay.
You walked, you moved. Um, But yeah, no, it's a really good adaptation of the game. The hand tracking definitely adds not only with like the aiming by hand, but like, um, your reflex when something grabs you, your reflex is to do this in real life, which also happens to be a gesture based control to defend in the game. So literally your in real life reflex is what you're supposed to do anyway, which is really cool. And there are other manual things like, grabbing the bottle of medicine and
Mm,
manually pouring it on your arm. Other really cool things, swinging the knife. Um, a lot of cool stuff there that really adds to the immersion of the game. And it's amazing to me that a couple of dudes just decided to do this. You know what I mean? It really kind of opens your eyes when you see just how beautiful this is graphically in VR, and it runs pretty well. Um, it really kind of opens your eyes to what these AAA developers could do in just a couple months' time
mm,
if they wanted to.
right.
Um,
They lied to us,
you
Wes.
know,
For so many years, they
Yeah, I
said we
mean,
can't do that. Like that's not possible, bro. I'm like,
well,
okay,
people tell you that these VR games kind of have to look like PlayStation 2 games in order to run. That's not true. Not on PC. Prey Dog has proved otherwise.
yeah. So is Luke Ross with Elden Ring, and I mean that thing is amazing. We got to get into Cyberpunk. You know what I thought was kind of cool, or I guess you already experienced this, but um, going into Resident Evil 8 and knowing like reload over my shoulder, like I being able to grab ammo was amazing because like what was the game I was in? I guess Half-Life 2 or something. I didn't know how to reload over my shoulder. But it seeming like that's now my go-to. I think that's actually a good place. It's better than your waist. There's no way to mess it up, right? It's really easy to grab.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, so many games have used the kind of the over the shoulder thing now that it's kind of become second nature to us as VR gamers. So yeah, I like it.
Yep.
We got a full gamut of stories as usual here to talk about today. So we need to get the show kicked off and obviously say hello to our friends in chat. But before I do that, I want to take the opportunity to remind everyone who's watching live or watching this tomorrow to pick up your free Epic game
Ooh.
this week because it's a doozy, Roots. Borderlands 3 is free on Epic Games right now. It's a full-fledged AAA game, man, for absolutely no cost on the Epic Game Store right now. And Roots, a little bird done told me that there is a VR mod in the works for Borderlands 3 as well. So you guys might want to pick it up now for free while you can. Otherwise, a year from now, you may be regretting it that you didn't.
Yeah, I went to go pick it up and I already owned it somehow. I guess I must have bought it when it was on sale or something. I like the Borderlands 2 and I wanted to play That's got one of the talk about hours upon hours of content, right?
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, that game is just ridiculous. How much how much awesome content you get with it. It's one of those intimidating games that I avoid starting, even though it's so fun to play. I avoid starting it just because I know there's no end in sight for that one. I really should play it more.
Yeah, absolutely. Yinzing says getting 120 frames on RTX 3080 and RE7 with some dips not noticeable. That's open XR question. I need to figure out how to do this Yinzing because I went in and although I did experience Jack immediately ran I walked out of a door because I just loaded one of my saves. I didn't know where I was at. I forgot where I was at, and he was right there in my fucking face, grabbing me. And but the performance was not the best. I was able to get it start, but I had to start it through OpenVR again, through Steam. I need to have it start through um, the Rift S, and even having that file that it says to delete, which I did, it doesn't want to load for me for some reason. So
Yeah, I need to play around with this OpenXR a bit as well. I did. It's been running pretty well for me, but I did notice that I am running in OpenVR. I'm not running in OpenXR, so uh, I'd like to play around with that a little bit, especially after I get my new old headset here within the next couple of days, and see just how good we can get that thing running.
yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, let's say hello to our friends in chat so we can get this show on the road. Roots just said it. Yin Xing 418 says that he's also running it in DirectX 12. So that
Hmm.
might be something you want to check out too. See if you're running it in 11 or running it in 12.
Do you set that
Because
in
that could
the
make a
mod?
difference.
I guess. That's my question.
I'm not sure exactly how you would set things like that. Probably that's probably in game, but I don't know. I don't know. You it may be something that you set up through the configuration settings in the game files. So
I
we'll have to look into that. When I start deep diving and dissecting into these mods here within the next week or two, I'll be sure to open up a line of communication with you there so we can kind of do it together.
It's in the init file. So
There you go.
the reconfig.
Thank you.
So that's
Thank
why
you, Yen.
I
Very,
figured
very
I was just about to say
appreciate it.
was you were saying that I was 99% sure that before this show was over, Yinzing was going to give me the answer. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you very much. VR Spry Guy is here. What's up, friend? Mepper is in the house, as is Thomas McNostril. Good evening, Thomas. Spry Guy says, did someone say Borderlands? Absolutely. I said free Borderlands, friend. Free Borderlands 3. Get it while it's hot.
Absolutely.
You know who loves to get it while it's hot, Roots?
My mom!
Oh, yeah.
Techno Glitch is here, as is Got VR Legs. Yes, I do. Mr. Lord Beavis is here. What's up? What's up? Onakazi is here, as is Scion. He said, did you say swing a knife? You absolutely can swing a knife, sir. Corporate Zombie is here, as is Mash Daddy. Hey, what's up, Eric? How you doing, friend? Radio Runt says, you know who else likes VD?
My
Oh,
mom!
God. I don't know if she likes it. I think she tolerates it. She has to.
She does tolerate it. She must.
She must.
No
choice.
Bluebell's here, as is Hussein X. Hello, friends. Of course, PD is here. Thank you for hanging out with us this evening. It's like friggin' past midnight for PD, or almost midnight for PD. So thanks for hanging out, friend. Appreciate it. Let's see who else is here.
We just had Immersed Robot at the beginning of the show come in and say he had to crash early, but he was going to watch the show and he appreciated it tomorrow and he appreciated watching. We appreciate you, Gary.
We appreciate you. Yeah, we appreciate you stopping by, Gary. Thank you very much, sir. Space Dennison is in the house. What's up, Void Cat? Dark Angel, as always. Hello, friend. GB abbreviated Dreams Cat. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Chinatown D. Happy birthday, D. One more time before we move on. Everybody wish D a happy birthday. She's how old is she, Roots?
36.
36.
I have no idea. That sounds good. Sounds
Happy
like
birthday,
a safe answer.
Oh, yeah. Decepticon is here, of course. Let's see. Got to be getting close to the top of this thing. Mickey Barrios. Hello, friend. What's up, Mickey? And yeah, there's Gary. You called that one. Daniel Kaz is here. Hello, hello. Handy Capable Gamer is here. What's up? And Four Wheeling in the house. Mike Newton is in the house. Mike Newton, let's see. I don't know exactly what Mike Newton's talking about. He says it's half off on Humble Bundle. I do know that there's a big. Oh, it's Deep Rock Galactic. That's what it is.
Oh,
And
God.
we're going to talk about Deep Rock Galactic here in just a few minutes. I think, Roots, we may be buying a copy or two of that game in the next couple of days, right?
Yeah, definitely want to pick that up now while it's on sale. Mr. Lord Beavis also in the house says, giving us $1.99, says gives a thumbs up. We appreciate you, Mr. Lord Beavis.
Yes, thank you. We'll spend that money wisely on TP for my bunghole.
Oh, and then I wanted to I mentioned it kind of in the Discord, but I was going to mention, I guess I'll say it live on air, or I don't know if we have any of those keys from Mickey left. But I wanted to allocate some of them
Well,
towards.
maybe,
I want to allocate
maybe.
some of them specifically. I want to figure a way that only the audio people have access to them because they do. And I've kind of been kind of man, time flies by so fast. So my thing is now I'm with before the next show airs, I'm gonna make sure that it gets on. Every show gets aired on there. I'm not gonna let a bunch of them stack up because I get wrapped up in life, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my god, it's been a couple weeks. But we want to give away some of these games that Mickey gave to us to you guys on the audio version. So we appreciate you.
Absolutely, and I've got other keys too that weren't donated from Mickey that we can throw in there as well. But we absolutely will put some stuff together for the audio only listeners, and we know you're out there, and we love you. So yeah, when we've done audio giveaways in the past, we've typically done it through social media. Um, but I mean, there hasn't been the biggest turnout for that. So maybe we come up with a different way, or maybe we've got new virtual strangers socials now. So maybe we can use that. We'll come up with something. Of course, if you guys have any suggestions as to how you would like us to handle the giveaway for the audio listeners, feel free we could just do an audio episode, Roots,
Oh,
where
that'd be
you know
cool, right?
10 minutes of me like just speaking numbers and letters into the microphone. X 4 Y dash.
We'd somehow tech would still be there. Be like, that's my thing. You'd be like, hey, I'm listening
Uh-oh.
audio.
PD coming through in the chat with a Afterlife VR Steam key. Jump on it, guys, while you can. That's a good game, Roots. I finished it this past week, by the way.
Yeah, that's definitely a good game. I didn't get to finish didn't finish the game. Now he was saying, he was asking my opinion for 4.5 hours, what it took you, right? If my opinion changed on the price, and I don't think so, man. I mean, if it's what you like, if it's that type of a game,
$14.
yeah. If you like a horror game, I mean, it's probably took less for some people because Wes likes to take his time. But again, that's about. I mean, it really is about the cost or less than the cost of a movie. That's usually sucks, and you get to be in this movie. So
Yeah, dude. And like, I mean, let's say it takes you 3 hours. It's still just $5 an hour, dude, or less than $5 an hour. So, yeah, man, this game is very affordable and competitively priced. Obviously, again, it's an indie game. It's not going to be game of the year. It might be game of the month though, man. It's been slow month. Um, it's a solid game, and in my opinion, any good VR game is worth $14, or at least most of them are anyway. So yeah, I definitely still recommend from me.
yeah, absolutely.
Carl Parker joining us, as is Mind Jive. Welcome, friends. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Yep.
Um, he says glad Afterlife is done. Now they can get working on Pirates VR. Yeah, they're doing a Pirates game too. The developer of Afterlife is doing a Pirates game, and it looked pretty decent, man. It looked pretty good.
I would love a good adventure. Let me go command a ship and sail it somewhere, and you know what I mean. Doesn't even have to be co-op. I love Sea of Thieves. This is reality. Sea of Thieves is on a different level, and it's not coming unless they Rare decides to do it because it's multiplayer as hell, and there's no way any mod is going into that game. So I definitely sounds cool.
Cool. Mind Jive got the key. So cool. Enjoy that, friend. Um, yeah, man. You know what we need? We need Rockstar Games to do a pirate game, like an open
Oh
world
my god, that'd be cool.
pirate game,
Yeah,
adventure. Yeah.
this is the thing. They've done Grand Theft Auto, and we've seen what they can do in a world that's populated in what we experience, right? Why couldn't you do the same thing in a pirate world and make it amazing?
Yeah.
It sounds cool.
They've done Grand Theft Auto, did Red Dead 2. The same deal there, man. Same things apply. Uh, or even like a Bethesda, with what they did with the Elder Scrolls games. An open world pirate game could be really, really fun.
Yeah, and I've never seen one that's been really successful. So it'd be the first. It'd be cool.
Anyway, hello, Phil Yarn, joining us from his lawnmower. So, what's up, friend? Um, Carl Parker says, look up Pirates VR Jolly Roger. Yeah, I think I've seen that. Or that might be the one we're even talking about. Um, there's a few out there that you don't know about, Roots, that I've seen on Steam. I think there's even one on Viveport. Um, they all look to have different aspects of our perfect pirate game that we've always kind of talked about. I don't think anybody's kind of nailed it all yet, though.
No. Well, they will eventually, right?
Actually, I do believe that eventually someone will. What's up? Greg's VR sliding in there, and since Greg's here now, Roots, I guess we can get the show on the road.
Yeah, let's do it.
Lore was broken into last night. I need you to find out what happened.
Luna. Just seen things you wouldn't believe. Organization called Wuxin. They tried to kill me.
He's taking over the city, wanting to control society through a form of mind uploading.
I keep dozing off in the hive car and having these weird dreams. Like someone's in my head. Innocent people are being brainwashed. He has the ability to manipulate the mind.
We need to put an end to this.
Lucky. I need a weapon. Wuxin have this place surrounded.
We need to stop this Wuxin group and protect the city. Oh no! They found me!
We apprehend the situation.
Luna, where are you?
Wake up.
This story comes from Jamie Feltham at Upload VR. Promising physics driven VR adventure Lonn is still in the works, and we've just got our first look at it in nearly 2 years. Lonn is developed by Australian studio Six Sense. It's a cyberpunk action game with a focus on physical combat, similar to games like Boneworks and The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. We last saw the game at the 2020 Upload VR showcase, though it's been underground ever since. But the game resurfaced this past week with a brand new trailer, which we just saw. In Lonn, you play as the titular character, a bounty hunter that battles against a cult organization. Players are armed with a sword and can use firearms too, though they'll also have powers of telekinesis for physics driven action. In a blog post on its official website, Six Sense explained that it had stepped away from social media to focus on improving the game over the past 2 years. Quote, during the development of Lonn, we've worked hard to create immersive levels that feel open while still having a linear structure. You could say wide linear, with player freedom and choice of how you overcome each gameplay scenario. The core gameplay challenges you'll encounter are combat, platforming / parkour, and puzzles. Six Sense now says that the game will launch on Steam for PC VR headsets later in 2022. No word on other possible versions of the game as of yet. Roots, we were really high on Lonn when it was first revealed all those years ago, and we actually established a line of communication with the head developer over this game, but then it dropped off the map. And the cool thing is that even when it was kind of MIA, no one really forgot about this game. People still periodically ask me, well, what happened to Lonn? What about Lonn? And subsequently, I've made attempts to contact our friend over there at Sixth Sense Studio, our friend Matt, and to no avail, no answer whatsoever. So I think that might be what he's getting at here when he says that we stepped away from social media for a couple of years. I think that's his way of saying, "Hey, look, guys, we've been here. Sorry we didn't talk to you for a couple of years, but we're back now. Here's our game." And by the looks of this trailer, Roots, they certainly have been busy since we last saw this game. This thing looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks really good. And we always, we always want to know. We want to be in the loop. How many games do we know, or how many games are out there that we don't know about? Flat VR or whatever, just because the developers aren't there trumpeting it every minute of every day doesn't mean that it's not going on behind the scenes. So it's not a shock to me that it's still out there, but it definitely looks really good. Of course, a lot of times there's not funding and they think it's over, and then all of a sudden something comes through and it's like, okay, guys, we got to let everybody know we're still here, because we are still here, which is exciting because it looks really good. So
Paradise Decay says, who else likes titular characters?
My mom!
So there's some talk in the chat about I guess Outlier. People are saying they're surprised that it was that they scrapped it, and Mash and I were talking about this, and I'm not surprised. That's the biggest problem with Joyway that we've said, is there's too many things going on, and clearly this proved it. And that's such an ambitious game with a roguelike game. That's a game that you do, that's all you focus on. And they're still working on Stride. They're still working on Against. So I think that even though I loved Outlier, I think they made the right choice. And I'm not shocked at all. I'm actually shocked that we didn't hear this sooner, or they didn't, finish the other two and focus on this one or the other. So.
Yeah, well, that said, it is a shame because, in my opinion, Outlier was by far their best work and their best concept for a game. It should have been Stride, Roots. It should have been Stride.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you're going to pick one of them, I definitely think Outlier was the best of the ones. But like they said in their release, it's just so much, and they would have had to focus everything, I think, on it. And I kind of wish they did, and just say, you know what, we're done with these games. We're going to wrap them up, Against and Stride, and then move on to Outlier. But they've proven to me they know what they're doing. So who am I to question, right?
Anyway, with Lonn, some real visual upgrade going on here, man. This game almost looks like it's eye candy, doesn't it?
Yeah, dude, that looked amazing. That's for this type of a game, right? It almost looked like cyberpunk level, although I haven't played that
Right,
game
and
in VR.
so many people looking forward to playing lo-fi because of the the awesome visuals and atmosphere that that Blair Renaud is building in that game. But a lot of people often ask, all right, cool. I'm sure it's going to be a cool place to visit, but why would I want to live there? What are we going to have to do? No question that there's going to be stuff to do in Lonn, right? I mean, this game looks action packed.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it definitely looks action packed, and the physics, man. I mean, this is the thing, right? We want physics in these games, and it looks like they're delivering for sure on this one.
Yeah, physics based combat and interactions, and you can go any way with it. There's melee, there's telekinesis, there's firearms, and I like this description of it as a wide linear game, because we've seen games like this before that are linear, but the map, the path is big enough that it doesn't quite feel linear. Like Farpoint's a good example of this to me. Like, Farpoint's a very linear game. You're literally walking straight through it the whole time, but the maps are so wide and spread out. It doesn't feel like it's linear. It feels like you have a little bit of space, and apparently that's what you've got going on here with Lonn.
That's good, I mean, it doesn't have to feel, like you said, linear, even though it is. There's ways to make it, give you different options even to go to the same place that make you feel like you're actually exploring, right? Or give you reasons to go in there. So
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, very much looking forward to this. We are going to try to touch base with our friend Matt over at Sixth Sense and hopefully learn a little bit more about this game. But excited because apparently, we're not going to have to wait too much longer for this one. This one's going to drop this year. No mention of Quest support for this one, so we don't have to worry about them, taking an extra year to water the game down for standalone. PCVR only for right now, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if they have success on PC. If we don't see this game next year on PlayStation VR 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Lonn 6 Cent Studio says, "Hey guys, thanks for showcasing Lonn. Lonn is years in the making. Early videos were pre-alpha or a vertical slice. Lonn is a story-driven game and has experimentation modes too." That's awesome. Story-driven is what I'm the biggest thing for me. Give me a reason
Speak
to pull
of
me
the
through.
devil.
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by, Matt. Yeah, I don't know if you caught the top of our segment or not, but what I said was true. Those may have been pre-alpha, um, video footage that you shown, those years ago, but it made such an impression on us and our community that it's never completely left the minds of the gamers. People periodically, still every couple months, someone asking, "What about Lonn? What about Lonn? What about Lonn?" So I think some very good things lie ahead for you and your title as you approach launch, and can't wait to get my hands on it and see it inside the headset. If it looks this good on a flat screen, it must be absolutely stunning inside the VR helmet.
I know, isn't that crazy? Because that's what Mash was saying on Wednesday about Resident Evil 8 doesn't do justice, and that's for every VR game, right? You think, oh, that looks beautiful. Wait until you get in the headset and take a look at it. It just makes it so much better. So
Absolutely, can't wait to get my hands on this and take it in firsthand.
yeah, and you know who else likes to take it in firsthand?
My mom!
Paradise Decay says to 6 Cent Studios, just added Lonn to my wish list. That's a good idea. Everybody should add Lonn to their wish list right now because you want to know when it's coming out. So
yeah, absolutely. You can go ahead and get a head start on today's wish list segment. Right?
Absolutely, yep.
Anyway, awesome looking game coming up later this year, but there are things coming to PCVR much sooner that look pretty awesome as well. This from Ben Lang at Road to VR. Deep Rock Galactic is a cult favorite PC co-op game where teams of up to 4 players dive into perilous caverns in search of precious minerals while battling hordes of alien bugs along the way. And now the game is soon to see the first release of a mod that makes Deep Rock Galactic fully playable in VR. The Deep Rock Galactic VR mod is nearing initial completion, with many of the game's major functions working correctly in VR with motion controls, including the interface and weapon wielding. DRG modder Herr Friesti reports that over at the mod's Discord server that the developers of Deep Rock Galactic have given the mod approved status, which means the players will be able to use the mod with their main save, including the ability to play multiplayer with other players and earn progression in the game as normal. And yes, VR and non VR players can play together provided everyone has the mod installed. Roots, we've had our eye on this one for a while. And that's why we were kind of excited to see this past week as a few of our content creator friends were given access to check it out. And as advertised, I mean, it's not perfect. It is a beta release at this point, after all. It's not finished work yet, but it looks solid already. And I look forward to getting my hands on this one and giving it a try.
Yeah, this game has been on my radar for a long time, actually. Mash and I picked this up, I think, before it even was, we knew for sure that there was a mod. There was like a rumor, and I thought, man, this looks cool to even play flat. But I was telling you, playing or watching during the trailer, I was like, looks like it'd be really cool flat, but it looks like it'd be amazing in VR. And it's really cool. You know, you see a lot of these games that are multiplayer, and you immediately nix out playing with other players. Just because most games are competitive, and so there's going to be, you know, a lot of anti-cheat stuff. Apparently, this game, there is no worry about it. There's probably all sorts of mods that people use already, and so it's a perfect candidate for something like this. And I'm excited. I already own it, so but I guess you can get it on Humble Bundle, right? Somebody was saying, so definitely pick it up.
Someone in the chat was saying that earlier, that you get it for half off right now, and which is cool. Because I'm going to be picking a copy of it up myself this week, as you know, assuming that all goes well and the thing runs pretty well. This is what we're going to be covering for Strangers in the Night this week, Deep Rock Galactic. So mod month continues. We've already done. Let's see, what did we start on? Half-Life 2 VR. We moved on to Elden Ring. Last week we did Resident Evil 8 Village, and this week. Right, and 7. And this week we're going to be doing live gameplay for Deep Rock Galactic, live co-op gameplay. Looking forward to getting in there and with you and Mash. And I mean, there's room for one more, right?
Ooh, yeah. Well, it's got to be somebody that's either lives in the States or would be willing to stay up late. Wink, wink, gamer tag. We need you in there. But yeah, somebody that's going to be on there, like, I guess it's early in the morning for them, right? When we go on. So.
Right. Yeah, Gamertag, PD. I know PD loves this game. Or even Todd. You know, we get Todd in there, and maybe, which he's out of town right now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in Florida. I don't know how long he's in Florida for. Knowing Todd and the way he extravagantly goes on these vacations, or I guess staycations, because he workations. He usually works as well, but he may be there a couple weeks.
Mr. Lord Beavis says, I just bought the deluxe edition for $20.
Nice.
And that's not too bad. And let's see here. I had another comment I wanted to highlight, but I lost it. Oh, yeah. Scion says at this pace, it's going to be mod year.
Yes.
That's true. And, you know, it's been a very slow month for PC or just VR releases in general. So these modders really, they couldn't have picked a better time to bring their work to the forefront. It has saved, you know, the months of April and May, in my opinion, and made them some of the highlights of the year. You know?
Yeah. Well, it couldn't have came at a better time for Wes to plant a amazing idea in my head to get a Rift S, because this is the thing, man. There's too many good mods now. Like if you went a year ago, I could maybe not justify it because my mind, I go through all sorts of different things, and now there's so many amazing games that I want to play and then cover and actually play well. That I was like, $150 is a steal to be able to have everything run good, and so yeah, I think couldn't have became at a perfect time, more perfect time.
Beavis says $15 for the base game. So
What do you get
15
extra?
for the regular version. I don't
Extra
know.
for the
I have no
deluxe,
idea.
$5 is, if it's much, that's worth it to me. Although that is 25%
Yeah, for
more.
sure. For sure, if it's DLC, it's kind of a no-brainer if there's DLC involved. If it's cosmetic, well, maybe, maybe not. But looking at the gameplay routes, I have never played this game, but it looks cool. There are elements in here that remind me of Risk of Rain 2.
Yeah.
There's also elements of the Scavenger's Odyssey, which is a game that was on PSVR Worlds that I really enjoyed. It was a demo, obviously a short experience that I always kind of wish would get made into a full game. Um, I see some of that in this as well. It looks like it's going to be high octane, you know, fast paced, action oriented co op VR game.
Yeah. Definitely. That's exactly what it looks like. Thomas McNostril says extras are all cosmetic. Well, then, I don't want to say I'm out, depending on if it's cool, because this is the thing. It's first person. You're not going to see what it is. So you would think, okay, that's pointless then. But you're playing with 3 of your friends. So if it's cool enough, you might want to look cool for $5. And it helps the devs. So from that standpoint, it's not a bad idea either. If you want to help the developers, it's a win-win.
Yeah, you can get a lot for $5 these days too. You know who will do just about anything for $5?
My mom!
Almost anything.
Almost.
Yeah, there is something.
Anyway, I just wanted to bring this up and kind of get it in the forefront of everyone's mind as we are going to be featuring it later on this week. So stay tuned. If you haven't already, be sure to click the big red button and ring the bell so that you'll be notified when we go live from Deep Rock Galactic this coming Wednesday night.
So excited.
Too.
Last time I saw my grandmother, she asked me was I still a praying man. I told her, yes ma'am. Well, she says, pray harder. 'Cause it ain't working. I ain't gonna die waiting on salvation. As long as we still got guns, we gonna fight. And if we run out of bullets, baby, they gonna wish we had.
This from Kyle Melnick, VR Scout. Despite having been released all the way back in 2009, Valve's multiplayer zombie game Left 4 Dead 2 maintains a cult-like following thanks to its addicting gameplay loop and revolutionary AI director, which rewards players for taking risks while penalizing those who intentionally stall the game. So you can imagine our excitement when we learned about a new mod that lets you play the entire single player game in VR with 6 degrees of freedom on PC VR headsets. Not only that, but the mod features support for motion controls, allowing you to interact with the in game world in exciting new ways. For example, instead of pushing a button to throw a pipe bomb or a Molotov cocktail, you physically throw the item like you would in real life. The same goes for the rest of your virtual arsenal. This article then states how to get started and install this mod for yourself. I will say that if you're a member of the Virtual Strangers Discord, that this mod has been posted in the last couple of hours on one of our on our Flat to VR modding channel. So if you guys are interested in playing Left 4 Dead VR, there's an invitation to our Discord down below. Just click on that, and you'll be able to find the mod on there. According to the mod's creator, SD805, you run the risk of receiving a VAC ban by playing online. As such, they recommend using the insecure launch option and sticking to the single player mode for now. Moving forward, the developer hopes to implement full multiplayer functionality. Other future fixes include improved melee interactions, CPU optimization, and native VR menu navigation. As is the case with most VR mods, you will need to own a copy of the game in order to play. And as it happens, Left 4 Dead 2 is available on PC for $10 via Steam. Roots, another legendary Valve game, another full-fledged VR mod with motion controller support. Although this is, again, a very early version of this mod. From the footage that I've seen thus far, it looks like there's some fun to be had already, even still.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, I'll tell you what, Tech's a big person into this game. He's been playing it. He was waiting for this thing to drop. He's been talking about it, posting those things in the Discord you're talking about. Just posted something today. I guess they added snap turn and smooth turn or something. So they really are working on this, and it's already in a playable state. Although I would imagine you need your VR legs at this point to play. So it's not all roses and sunshine as far as like, I mean, obviously you want to go online, you want to play with your friends. It probably will get you banned from what it's sounding like. But what Tech says, you can actually play with your friends offline in multiplayer. If that's what it sounds like to me, Tech, that would be pretty cool. Is it the same thing? I didn't have as much interest in this once I heard that there's an actual campaign, because there's usually, I've got Back 4 Blood. If I'm going to play a version of like this in VR, I want it to be Back 4 Blood, but I don't think there's a campaign to it. At least I've never seen one outside of playing with other people. I guess if you play with AI, but the fact that I playing it through a story actually sounds really cool in VR.
Yeah, I know that this game, I don't know how it's structured with regards to the campaign, but I do know that there is a lot of content here. Valve supported this title for nearly a decade with DLCs and updates. It's garnered cult status for a reason. And I'm glad to say it, Roots. We've said it many times before about many of gaming's most beloved franchises. I will be experiencing this game for the first time in VR. And that might be a shock to some of you, as I am a horror fan and a zombie fan. I have never played Left 4 Dead 2. I look forward to checking it out for the first time from the inside.
Yeah, I don't think if I played it, we might have played it for a little bit, and then I didn't, like on a Game Pass, and we tried Back 4 Blood, and I haven't gone back, but this is amazing. And like Tech says, of course, Back 4 Blood would be amazing, but it's not out in VR, and this is. So it's a good stepping stone, and what an amazing stepping stone it is.
How long do you think before Luke Ross just puts Back 4 Blood in VR?
As long as he can. This is the thing. Luke won't even give you the option. He's so against people going online with his mods, because I guarantee, at least for me, I'd be paranoid of the backlash of people's accounts getting banned. This guy sounds like you can do it, but he recommends you don't. Definitely, I would love to see it. And Luke Ross, and like I said, I want to try the Cyberpunk one now. I really wasn't interested, and I'm not so much interested in the boring game that I owned, that I got for $10, which was overpriced on PS5. But I want to see how amazing it looks and everything else, because Elden Ring was so amazing. It's probably, to me, the best mod that I've played. Resident Evil 8 is right there, neck and neck. What they're doing is amazing. It's crazy.
Does anyone know when they ban you for this sort of thing? Do they just ban your Steam account, or do they ban your IP? Like, is your whole computer and internet access point banned from playing that?
I think it's
Because
the game.
if they just ban like your Steam ID or whatever, um, I mean that would be there's an easy way around that, right? You start another Steam account, you family share the game onto that account, and then you register and play online on there. And then if we get banned, we can just always go back to our regular account to play it single player.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure how all that works, but definitely worth checking out, right? It's the reason why you'd never see a Sea of Thieves. I'd love to see that game in VR, but mods Scion got banned with Vorpex just by messing with it for like an hour, and they were like, nope.
Radio Runt says Landfall has been delisted on the Oculus Store, and it doesn't even work for him anymore. It's total bullshit.
Really? It's funny because
Apparently,
actually Landfall is a pretty cool game, and he was just talking about it.
was
A couple of days ago. Yeah, it was. Should have got your Landfall fix in. This is a discussion for a Wednesday show because we haven't done a discussion topic, but digital content. You know what I mean? Like, how many games do we end up losing? I don't even think Landfall's a server thing. Like, at some point, or maybe it is, but what do you own? What are you paying for, and what do you own? Because you could 1 year from now they could just say, you don't own this anymore, and you have no recourse. So it's crazy.
I think again, this is a topic for Wednesday, but it is kind of bullshit. If you pay for something, there should at least be a bare bones version of the game that's playable offline as a single player experience. Even multiplayer games versus bots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you bought that game. Back in the day, you buy a game, it's a physical thing, and the game works forever. 100% of my NES library still works today. But for now, for some reason, that we're in the information age, and I don't even know what the motivation is for the developers that do this. Like, why make it not work for all the people that supported you by buying your game? Why make it so that they have nothing left to show for that money? I just don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Anyway, Left 4 Dead 2 looks cool. Are we going to check this out before it gets further refined and updated, Roots, or are we going to we're going to sit on it for a little while and let it age like a fine wine?
I want to check it out, but I definitely, if they just added smooth turn and snap turn, I'd like to find out what's not in there. Because when tech says, it's a jank fest, I've never experienced this game as far as I can remember. I mean, like I said, if I did, it was for 5 minutes. I don't want to go in there and have a bunch of weird shit going on. I'm glad I waited for the Half-Life 2 VR mod. That thing's so good. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather play it when it's amazing. But it sounds like we're close. We might be close. I mean, if you got a video of Beardo Benjo doing a video or gamer tag, it's got to be soon, right?
Well, here's the thing: anybody can play it. Like, any Joe Schmo can go play this. It's public. Anybody can pick this up and download it. Again, it's posted in the Virtual Strangers Discord. Anybody can play it, make a video on it that wants to. From what I understand, it is still kind of early on in the development process for this thing. So, again, hopefully, the promises that the dev or the modder is making do come to pass, and that this game does eventually get multiplayer support. I would consider that likely. Valve's historically been very friendly to modders and supported their efforts. So I got to imagine if this one in particular puts forth a respectable version of this Valve Classic, that Valve will get on board with it pretty quickly with regards to multiplayer support.
Yeah. They've got a headset. They've already made Half-Life Alyx, and they've clearly said that's the step that they're moving for their games in VR. At least that's what I've always read and everything they've said. It reinvigorated their whole line of games, right? They'd pretty much written off games, and then because they didn't, they want to be innovative.
You know who else reinvigorated their whole?
My mom!
Oh, she does that a lot.
Who does? Anyway, for those of you out there who just can't wait for a little co-op zombie slaying action, I've got good news. Apparently, you're not going to have to wait so long after all.
Dawn. Dawn proves that you're still alive. Fluoride Lab presents the zombie virus is all around you. The only remedy is alcohol. In this war, everything serves the purpose of destruction. Equipment, weapons, and even friendship. Gather your party. Start a relationship. Create a unique look. Communicate with the whole world. Go on raids and trade your loot. Or just enjoy the game.
Young man, as the music feel down, I said, young man, pick yourself off the ground, I said.
This story comes to us from Arthans VR. Horror Lab is announcing Drunk or Dead 2, the sequel to the original VR zombie title Drunk or Dead on Steam. This time the developer will be adding the Quest platform to the mix. Set in a post-apocalyptic VR world, you and your surviving crew will have to fight to survive against zombie hordes with booze and a whole truckload of high-powered guns. And this is kind of the, I guess, the description from the game's Steam page. It says, a vicious zombie plague has spread across the world, and the only cure is alcohol. Protected by a killer hangover, chug what you've got and wade into the fray. Fend off hordes of undead as you stagger through the apocalypse, battling deadly bosses, collecting fun new weapons, and hoarding every last drop of booze that you can find. Explore, fight, and party hard. Drunk or Dead 2 is a campaign-based VR adventure for up to 4 players. 2 can play locally or online, with plenty of opportunities to hang out, shop, chat, and drink between battles. Life goes on even through the end of the world. Explore town, meet the locals, then pick from one of 4 classes and gear up for another round. This one's on you. The developer is going to release this first-person zombie shooter title in early 2023 onto the Steam platform for PSVR headsets, HTC Vive, as well as Meta Quest. Roots, I don't know about you, but this trailer don't look like no Quest game to me, son. This looks pretty cool.
Yeah, they said MetaQuest could be Quest 3, right? Does look pretty cool, actually.
Very
Scion
cool.
says another zombie game, ... Yeah, definitely. If you're not a zombie person, you know what I mean? And he doesn't play zombie games, and it's like, come on, man. Like, you're how many
Come on, man.
how many games are you gonna have come out, right? That I can't play because I don't like them. Very fair, but definitely looks pretty cool. I like the thought. My biggest thing that I like about what you just read was the fact that it's an adventure campaign that's designed for multiple people to play through. That's my biggest thing. Okay, we always say we want co-op, we want multiplayer. My caveat to devs, and sorry if so many of them out there working on this right now, I don't want another fucking mode. I don't want a mode. I don't want a wave shooter. I want to be able to play like the game, the actual game, the whole campaign with my friends. That's what appeals to me. The extra modes are great as extras, but don't tell me it's co-op if that's all you have for it. That's not this, and this looks pretty cool.
Right, zombie horde modes are cool, but that's when we demand co-op for basically every game that we cover. It's because there's not enough of these fully playable co-op campaigns in VR. This is what we want. We want to be able to play through the main loop of the game with our friends, which is what exactly what I said to the modder of Deep Rock Galactic earlier today. It's like, man, we're looking forward to checking this out because there's not enough games like this in VR already. people are really going to take to this mod if it is as good as it looks. But with regard to this game specifically, it looks cool, man. It looks like a unique take on what Scion alludes to as a overplayed genre. Roots, I actually had a third zombie story in a row that I had originally slated for the next slot, but I ended up clipping it out of there just because I thought it might be a little bit of overkill with the zombies. Looks like I was right.
Well, I'll tell you what, and this is to, I guess, a plug for the patrons or Patreon. Man, every week, man, I was looking, just skimming through the cutting room floor. There's so much news in there, Wes. It's crazy. Like, I'm like, all this shit's going on, and you know what I mean? Like, it's definitely, I think, one of the best features of it. So, it's crazy.
Less than $1 per week, Roots, and it's all right there in a nutshell for you. I
Yeah.
forget who it was. Recently told me that they loaded up into their Kindle or Alexa or something and have Alexa read it to them, which is cool. I never thought about doing that, but I might try it out myself. Half of these stories I haven't had a chance to read yet, but I can tell, or that's interesting. Let's put it in. Today I did the cutting room floor first before I did anything else, because there's so many things since we decided to refocus on just gaming. There's so many interesting things that we're not talking about anymore on the show with hardware, with the metaverse. Display week was this past week, and there's lots of stories on the different display technologies that were shown off. All that stuff's on the cutting room floor, available as a part of our show notes to our patrons each and every week. And again, it's less than $3 per month. It's a pretty good deal. I try to make it a pretty good deal, right?
Yeah, dude, it's so much work. You know what I mean? I look at it and I'm like, man, you're researching it. Like someone could do their own podcast off of your show notes. You know what I mean? Like I completely, and it would be nothing wrong with it because it's stuff we're not covering anyway. There's so much, man. There's a reason why Wes has so much information in here as he's doing all that research. And I thought there was so much fascinating stuff.
Well, it was funny, man, because we had decided to start getting the show down to under 2 hours, and we were doing it. And then we decided, well, we were going to start covering metaverse and hardware and all the different stuff. And then the show started going up to like 4 hours. So we had to take a step back and remember what this channel was founded on, and that was that everybody was doing hardware speculation, everybody was doing all that other stuff. We want to focus on the games, so we kind of got back to our roots, so to speak, and it's working out. But we are interested in all this other stuff. We will talk about it from time to time when there's like really huge stories that you can't ignore. But for all those other weeks in between, you guys can find those stories on the cutting room floor.
Absolutely. Mike Newton says that was him that did the Alexa read off. He has trouble reading after a TBI. So definitely good. Derail says, I'm slowly becoming a beard. I'll tell you what, man, as soon as I can cover up the whole cast of Reality Bites with my beard as I'm sitting here, then you'll know my beard is almost ready to be stopped. So.
We'll get there one day, bro. But so far so good. We're digging the hair, man. It's pretty cool.
I like it. So.
Yeah, Carl Parker says, love the 4-hour shows though. I did too. You know who's not a fan?
Your wife.
The wife. The wife not a big fan of the 4 hours 4 hours twice a week format.
Well, she's boxed out of her room. You know what I mean? Like Wes is in a space that everybody in your house is used to being free. Even the dog doesn't like it. I think it was a good move.
Yeah, that dog can get over it. Bluebell says there was a ton of news in there. Thanks again, Wes. Bluebell, very appreciative of the show notes every week. Bluebell's thanking me for those notes. So I appreciate your enthusiasm, Bluebell. Thank you very much for the recognition.
Absolutely.
I guess T-Rail likes the 4-hour shows as well. You know who's always down for a 4-hour show, Roots?
My mom!
Double that. 8, maybe. Be good.
All day, every day, bro. Anyway, let's get off of zombies and talk puzzle games for a little bit. Rich, how about that?
I've been out here at the clock tower for more than 30 years now. Alone for, well, most of that time. I don't feel alone, though. I have the gardeners. Every day I get up and pump out the rising water. If I don't, the tree and all the precious plants it protects will die.
That's the last recording I have of Edea. Nearly 10 years old now.
How does it feel to be home?
From out here, you wouldn't know it was sinking. I just hope we're not too late. I found her gloves, and they still work. Thank goodness. This would be impossible without the gardeners.
Oh, those things. Yeah, they're pretty neat.
When I first arrived here, I used to imagine the gardeners were alive. I loved the thought of the clock tower teeming with people, all helping look after the plants.
The clock tower uses fruit for energy. With the gardeners, this will finally automate the drainage pump, just like that.
Things were looking a little bad on the lower levels.
I'm going to fix this place, Levi. I'm going to fix it.
Something's wrong! What's happening? The pump's offline.
That place was my home. And the plants there, they're irreplaceable.
The tree is always running out of time.
How did Edea handle this place?
Reckon you can fix it?
But I'm not letting the clock tower go without a fight. Not this time.
The clock tower needs its clockwinder. But the clockwinder is only a person. And people make mistakes. So I've made a decision. I will be the last clockwinder. You don't know half of what this place can do.
This from Peter Graham. Good morning, Web3. There are some delightfully inventive puzzle titles in VR, from casual hand-tracked experiences to proper mind-bending video games. Indie studio Pontoco and publisher Cyan Ventures are set to launch the next gray matter sparking puzzler, The Last Clockwinder, next month for PC VR headsets and Meta Quest. Unveiled back in December, The Last Clockwinder is a VR puzzle automation video game with the aim being to repair an ancient clock tower built into a massive tree. The clock tower is a store for the galaxy's plants and seeds, so you need to grow plants, harvest resources, and clone yourself in a bid to complete each challenge. Automation is key in The Last Clockwinder, performing each task by hand before looping it with a clockwork clone, thus creating a loop upon loop to create ever more elaborate sequences. It's not entirely about creating Rube Goldberg machines with your hands, though. The Last Clockwinder will have a narrative where you'll need to, quote, piece together your complicated past as you work to save your childhood home. This isn't the first VR title to use cloning as a gameplay mechanic, with Secret Locations Transpose as one of the more unusual examples of the mechanic. The Last Clockwinder, in comparison, looks to be a far more gentle experience for VR puzzle fans. The Last Clockwinder is set to release the 2nd of June for MetaQuest 2, Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, and Valve Index. Check out the latest trailer, which we just watched, for the game, and stay tuned for further updates. Roots, we covered this game, I think, back in December or January, as it was first revealed, and we thought it was a pretty interesting concept at the time. Upon checking out this new trailer, I mean, it still looks just as cool as it ever did, but I'm happy to see this this kind of attention and quality, apparent quality, which we won't know until we get in there, being placed into the narrative. It looks like a very heavily story-driven thing, and that, my friend, is right down my alley.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what. I'm sitting here watching the. I had a little hiccup on the internet. Alien Kara says, "Who is this game for?" I like puzzlers and zero interest in this. I don't know. So Wes is a puzzler person. My thing is it's the narrative, like you said. If it's got a cool story, something that's like a really cool thing pulling me through the story or the puzzles, I think it'd be cool. I know that they did that other game, Transpose, that was kind of like this, but this looks like on the next level, right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I like puzzlers too. I mean, it's obviously not my favorite genre, but I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, obviously everyone has their own taste, but to me, this looks like a very unique mechanic. Sure, Transpose did something similar, and there was even another game recently on App Lab that kind of had a very similar premise to it as well. But this looks like a higher quality thing. Like again, they're putting a voice acted narrative behind this
Right.
thing, and it looks like quite a bit of attention to detail has been placed in this game. So, who's this game for? I don't care to ask. Well, I mean, me for one. I'm not sure how Scion feels about it, as I think he just exited stage left. But I think a lot of people are going to, a lot of VR puzzler fans, people who like stuff like 10 Hearts, for example, I think are going to like this game.
Hussein X says, "I love Transpose, but not sold on Clockwinder yet." That's the thing. I don't know. I mean, it looks similar to it, but I mean, you? Well, I was going to ask you, Wes, but you probably don't know the answer. Maybe you do. I know Hussein X does because they love Transpose. Is there a story to that? Because I don't remember there being a story to that. You just kind of went in and you just kind of started doing stuff, and your guys started doing stuff, and it was like moving from place to place, but there was no story, I don't think. So I think this is going to be next level for that reason.
If there was a backstory, it wasn't, completely central to the game. It was secondary. Where this, it seems just the opposite. It seems like the story and the gameplay are going to be on equal footing for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Space Dennison says this is Transpose devs. I don't know if is that true, or I think we're just making the comparison that they're similar types of games.
Yeah, this is not the devs of Transpose. This is just a similar puzzling mechanic to Transpose.
Well, the good news is we'll know more soon, right? This thing's about to release, isn't it?
Yeah. A couple weeks from now, this game will be releasing. I think weeks to the day almost. And coming from indie studio Pontico, but published by Cyan Ventures, as we all know. That they generally don't put their name on garbage,
right?
Although they did that one that wasn't very well supported for VR. Remember there was a flat game that they did that had VR support, but it wasn't the greatest. I forget what it was called.
The other one that was from the makers of Myst, or something different.
It was published by them.
Okay, so you're not talking about the other one then.
I forget what the title of the game was. It was like a name. Like a person's name was the title of the game.
Okay.
But I forget what it was called now.
See, Scion, you left too early. Damn it.
Yeah. We were excited for this game. We covered it in the early days of the channel. We were very excited for it because it looked cool, but the VR implementation was less than stellar. When it launched, they promised updates for the game, which I don't think ever came, and we never went back to it.
Yeah.
But I don't remember what it's called, so that's neither here nor there. I'm sure someone will remind us in the comments down below after the show's over with.
Yep, Simplex, thank you for all you do when you keep us straight and narrow.
Yeah, right. Anyway, Mike Newton says, VR and playing music are my therapy. I have found ways to help my disability. Well, good news, friend. If VR and music are your thing, you might be into this next title.
The discordant songs of Salius Locrius called storms and war to Eolia. Many of La's instruments were destroyed in the fight to control the rhythms of the universe. Those that remain are protected in the sacred Modus lands of Nagada. In case Nagrus Mori comes again.
Another one from Jamie Feltham, Upload VR. Rhythm of the Universe's second VR adventure game, Eolia, hits MetaQuest 2 next month. The musical title, which is a follow-up to 2021's Rhythm of the Universe Ionia, hits the headset on June 9th. A new trailer for the game also just arrived, and we just watched that. The release date pits Eolia's arrival at less than a year since the launch of Ionia, but Rhythm of the Universe says that it's focused on some key improvements over the first game in the series. It's aiming to make this a longer, deeper experience. You know who's going to love that, Roots?
My mom!
She is.
It's aiming to make this a longer, deeper experience with more variety in its puzzles. For example, while it is a follow-up to the first game, Eolia takes place on another planet, hitting similar themes of climate impact and exploring possibilities with musical gameplay in VR. Interestingly, Eolia has also been designed as a hands-first game. While you can play with controllers, every interaction has been created with the quest's hand tracking in mind, and you can play the game from start to finish with just your hands. As one of the first story-driven campaigns to utilize this technology, we'll be very keen to see how this shapes up. Again, Rhythm of the Universe Eolia launching June 9th exclusively, at least for the time being, on MetaQuest 2. Roots, when we first learned about this game recently, I had a lot of doubts, to be quite honest. First of all, there was a lot of jank with the interactions in Rhythm of the Universe Ionia. Secondly, Ionia, not the best looking game on Quest 2. One of the best looking games on PC, not so much on Quest 2. And thirdly, hand tracking historically has never been something that has worked quite well enough to build a game around. But fast forward a couple of months now, we've got some more footage of the game, and it doesn't look half bad on MetaQuest. I mean, obviously, it doesn't look as beautiful as the original looked on PC, but it don't look bad. It certainly looks serviceable. Secondly, since this game was unveiled, the Quest 2 has had an update with hand tracking 2.0, which works a lot better than the initial hand tracking worked. So now you're telling me that we have a narrative-based adventure game, which I really did enjoy the story from the first Ionia game. We have another one of those narrative-based adventure games. It's a musical puzzler that's going to allow you to use your hands to do these musical puzzles, and it don't look bad graphically. I think they might have something here, especially since they are saying that this isn't going to be like a 45-minute game like the first one was. What are you thinking here with this one? Obviously, I'm going to go into it with some cautious optimism, but just 2 months ago, I wasn't very optimistic about this game. I'm kind of changing my tune here a little bit with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Bamboozled is what I think. In the thoughts of, I should. If I didn't even read the article. I saw Quest 2 sequel to Rhythm. I had all those thoughts that you thought. I thought, I'm not making this a part of the thumbnail. If I'd read the article, I would have maybe put it in the thumbnail, right? Because I think it definitely has merit. I think it could be good. My thing is, I'm going to answer the question for upload right here live. Are you going to be checking out Eolia next month? Probably. You didn't ask the follow-up question. Will you be using hand tracking? Fuck no. I I need haptics. I guarantee they say they downplay it, and that's great. There's people out there that are really going to love it, and they love the fact that they don't have to use controllers. I want haptics with it. You know, it's half of the experience when you're dealing with music. You got to have some kind of haptics, right? Give me some kind of rings or something, bracelet or something that I can wear when I'm doing my hand tracking, and then I'm down. But I need to feel something. So
Here's my one big source of trepidation with the thing. The biggest law with Rhythm of the Universe Ionia was issues with locomotion. Like and now you're going to take away my controllers and my thumbsticks. How are we going to move around in this game with no controllers, Ruuts? Like it didn't work well with thumbsticks. Now you're taking that away. What you think they got lined up here? This should be very interesting.
This is my theory. Well, not theory. Let me say this is my pipe dream theory. They've got together with Eye of the Temple, and you're going to be able to walk around, and it's going to use your play space. That would be amazing, right? But yeah, no, that's I don't understand. That sounds really weird to me. Like,
what do you think it could be like a series of just a series of stationary scenes where you're not moving at all in the thing. You're just you play through a puzzle scene, and then it'll give you a bit more story and a cut scene, and then you're in another scene where you're working a puzzle with your hands.
They could make it work. I mean, if you say that you finish the scene, the puzzle or whatever, and they, you know, it's next point when you would walk away, they have you do some gesture, wave your hands, and then you move on to the next thing. Everything disappears and it forms around you. It could be cool. It could be made cool. I still want to use my controllers though. I'm glad they're giving you the option. I like the fact that was the biggest thing that I liked when I saw that, is that it said that it was hands first game. What would be the point of saying hands first if they weren't going to include the controllers? Which, you know, while you can play with controllers, it says next line. It just made me feel good that they're giving you that option, because if you just make it hands only, the game dies, because there's a big portion of people that feel the way I do.
You know, I said locomotion was the biggest problem with Ionia, but I guess I should be more specific. It was free locomotion that was the problem. The game was actually quite playable when you switched it back to teleport. It's like they designed the game for teleport locomotion, and then they knew that people would slaughter them if they didn't put a smooth locomotion option in. So they just tacked one on that was broken. And, you know, after I got fed up with it and switched back to teleport, everything worked like it was supposed to. And Dreams Cat in the chat has an interesting theory. He says gaze-based teleportation. They could do something like that, like Zombieland did, where there's node-based teleportation, and you just have to look at the node for like 3 seconds, and then it'll pop you over.
Yeah, well, you know, that's the good thing. It's like you have if developers are good, they can do all sorts of different ways to do things, right? So I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to do.
So will I be playing this with my hands? I'm sure I'll try. I don't know that that's how I'll play through it. It depends on how well it works, but I'm certainly a bit more confident about that now, having seen major improvement in the hand tracking on the Oculus Quest, Oculus Quest 2, MetaQuest 2. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, man, they've got my attention. We're going for a redo with Rhythm of the Universe again, because it wasn't a complete dud. There were things that I liked about the original, and obviously, if they can learn from those mistakes and continue to improve, that they might have something on their hands here. And you know, hopefully, at some point, we'll get that drop dead gorgeous version of this on PC sometime later this year.
That'd be cool.
Rift Traveler says, I prefer smooth locomotion. Well, guess what, Rift Traveler? I guarantee you don't with Rhythm of the Universe Ionia. I prefer smooth locomotion as well. Not in that game. That game will have you, like, if you try to walk up the steps in that game, you will walk into the steps. Like, you won't go up them. You'll just walk right into them. Like, they're not even there.
Think Wanderer day one when Ruuts gets stuck on the raft skiff. You know what I mean? And I ended up reverting to Teleport, which is that's another game I need to get into. That Spry Guy's playing through that game, and he just finished it actually, and he said it was the best puzzle game he's ever played. And so that's Scion. You need to play that Scion. I am recorded. I want to watch you play it.
Everyone needs to play that game. Take my word for it. It's that and Moss 2 this year so far. Those are the ones. Those are the really great games that have been out this year.
Hey, Z-Storm Games. What's up, Z-Storm?
Hey, Z-Storm in the house. What's up, friend? Thanks for joining us. Talking about, speaking about a fourth for Deep Rock Galactic on Wednesday, Roots. I do think I saw Z-Storm's name on the list of people who were in the thread, the content creators. So consider the invite passed on to you, Z-Storm, if you're awake at like midnight Eastern time on Wednesday. We're going to be doing Deep Rock Galactic live on Strangers in the Night, and we need a fourth.
Yeah, me, Mash, and Wes. We need a fourth. Yeah, absolutely.
Good point, Lee VR. Lee VR says Arctica 1 had no base, and it was good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, I think it's going to. Oh no, one more headline before we move on, and this one just really quick. No trailer lead in. I just wanted to take a minute to recognize Little Cities as it has cracked into the top 10, at least briefly, on the Oculus Quest store this past week. Top 10 sales, that is, of all the titles on the Oculus Quest store. Roots, we questioned the marketing strategy to this forever. They delayed this game due to the MetaQuest Gaming Showcase last month. It basically delayed it so that it was going to come. It had the opportunity to be the first real city builder in VR, and it gave that up and let Cities VR, the competitor, go first. And we thought that was a huge mistake. As it turns out, we know jack shit about VR marketing Roots because apparently Little Cities is winning this this contest by a fair margin, and it just goes to show what we said 2 weeks ago when we talked about this game. Other people were seeing it that way as well. This is a much more approachable and pleasant experience for casual city builders in VR. Very enjoyable game, very high quality game. So happy not only for our friends at In Dreams, but for the team at Purple Yonder. Congratulations on your well deserved success. This is a good game.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing game, and it may be marketing, it may be the fact that it's priced perfectly, and like you said, it's a pleasant game. The Quest 2 people, this whole market is there's a lot of different types of people out there, and more people are casual type that are going to love this game than are going to love a very hardcore game that is at $30. You know what I mean? It doesn't take away from Cities VR. Cities VR is amazing, but we've said it, when we kind of compared them, there's a place for both of them, obviously, because they're both doing well, and I like them both for different reasons, right? If I want to go chill and have a really good experience and build this thing and have it be pleasant, I go into Little Cities. If I want to pull out my beard hairs so that it looks like my top of my head, but then I successfully turn it around, and then become the mayor of the year, then I go to Cities VR.
Absolutely. I think that was kind of our biggest takeaway from the thing is that there's absolutely room for both titles in the catalog. While they're technically competitors, the games couldn't be further apart from each other in terms of gameplay and experience. So definitely there's an audience for both of these games. And with that said, with Cities VR, significant updates to that game since we played it, Roots. They've revamped a lot of stuff about that game, and a lot of it deals specifically with the things we were critical of. So, looking forward to getting back in that one and giving it a look. But with regards to this one, Little Cities, I talked to Jimmy a little bit last week, and obviously congratulated him on their success, and he thanked us for the feedback that we provided during our episode, and told us to pass it along to our community, to be vocal with your feedback, because they are 100% listening to it, and we'll be updating this game often based upon feedback from the community. So they want to know, what do you want to see happen with Little Cities? Name some features that you'd like to see added in, and you just might get it. They're paying very close attention to what people are saying about their game.
We want to shrink down and ride around in your environment and be part of it. You know what would be
Noted.
Yeah, noted exactly. But also note that it's got to be on Quest 1 as well. I this is the thing, man. I think this is awesome. This is it's really good news. I couldn't have been happened to a better developer. And what I just heard there is that like we always say, the good developers are going to listen and to feedback, and they're going to alter the game to make it better. And so why would you not want to? If you have it already and you love this game, suggest it. Let them know. Whatever you want. Jetpacks.
Yep.
A Dreamscast.
They are asking for it. They're asking for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jetpacks. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I want to ride in those balloons, Ruuts.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tech, I guess Z-Storm Games said he just finished Robinson the Journey. Oh my God, what a hidden game or gem of a game. And we need to do some hidden gems again, because that's the type of stuff that people forget about. And you're right, it is a hidden gem. Although Techno Glitch says, can you really call Robinson a game? I would say so. I mean, you're doing more than just an experience. You're not just walking through it. You're climbing, you're solving stuff. I mean, it's a game.
Yeah, there's legit puzzles in it. That's a puzzle adventure for sure. And still to this day, the best representation of dinosaurs that I've ever seen in VR. So a beautiful game, even by today's standards, and 100% agree with the sentiment
I
there.
wonder what it would look like on your G2 with your 3080 cranked up. I bet it looks amazing.
That is a good question, and I bet you're right. Maybe we should do some hidden gems here pretty soon.
Yeah.
After Mod Month ceases.
Yes, when everything simmers down, right?
Yeah. As soon as Mod Month simmers down, then it's just going to be back to the onslaught of constant VR releases.
Yeah, absolutely. Tech says he's never played it. What the hell, Tech? What's wrong with you, bro? It's like $5. You can get it all the time, man. Check it out.
Yeah, it's a good one too, man. Crytek made that game. Did you know that?
I did not know that. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, here I am talking out of my ass. I'm pretty sure it's Crytek. Let me make sure before Simplex fucking.
Simplex is already typing. No, Wes, it was. Like I said, Simplex is actually such a good guy. He's like, one time messaged and said, "Hey, I hope you guys don't, take this offense." I'm like, dude, man, let us know. You're the reason why we don't have people saying, dude, these guys don't know what they're talking about. You catch us, Simplex, when we make mistakes. We appreciate you.
I'm going to find out right now.
In real time.
My memory serves me correct.
Says he's smart.
Robinson the Journey.
Z-Storm's smart. He says he started it, stopped, and went, damn, and then ended up recording it to make a series. Super smart, Z.
So not only was I correct, Crytek is the developer and publisher of this game, but it is on sale, as you stated, Ruuts, $5 right now on Steam.
Wow, dude, right there, Z-Storm approved, and Ruuts and Wes as well. $5. That's a what is that? A 6-hour game or 8-hour game or something for $5?
Yeah,
amazing.
Well, apparently it's a 6-year game for Z-Storm.
Yeah, really.
Oh man! All right. Anyway, that's going to wrap up our headlines for this week and bring us into the week's releases. One of which I found rather notable, and that's what we're going to take a look at right now. First time VR studio Mike TV is soon to release Shores of Loki, a 3D puzzle game backed by gorgeous and fantastical visuals. The game is set for an early access release on Quest 2 via App Lab and Steam VR on May 24th. Roots, um, this is obviously another story based puzzle adventure, but a lot of eye candy going on here with this one as well. Not only a very unique um, style of puzzler, but also a very beautiful looking world. This one not really very high on my radar until very recently, but I am 100% looking forward to visiting this very beautiful and strikingly colorful world.
Yeah, looks beautiful. My first thought was, do I want to play this on the Quest 2 version or the Steam VR version? Well, probably Steam VR.
Probably.
But this is the thing. It's good that there's an option for the people that have the Quest 2, but what a day to have a PC VR for sure, right? This looks beautiful.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and you know, I'm sure it looks pretty good on the Quest 2 as well. I mean, we've seen some developers be able to do some amazing things on there. But yeah, man, this thing looks really cool. The Ben Lang here in this article describes it as a fictional version, like a story-driven version of Puzzling Places, which is a game that loads of people rave about that I've never played. People love Puzzling Places, Roots, which is kind of this jigsaw puzzles type of a nuts and bolts puzzler in VR. What it's known for, though, is its relaxing environments and highly detailed volumetric images. Shores of Loki, on the other hand, not real places, but rather a fictional place, and obviously a fictional story playing out as you make your way through the game. This is something we're supposed to have access for this week,
Ooh.
and depending on how that goes and how time allows, maybe we can give some impressions on this one Wednesday before we start our co-op session. I don't want to commit to that right now because I don't know how our schedule is going to line up, but I'm certainly going to be checking this one out before now and then. So if we don't cover it this Wednesday, just hit me up on Discord and I'll be glad to give you my impressions of it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it definitely does look appealing. And it's funny, I've never tried Puzzling Places before, and I think I've got access to it already, right? Or don't we? The whole thought of
Yeah,
going.
it's on our Quest account.
Yeah, so I've seen it, and I just never felt compelled to play it. But this sounds really intriguing. Sliced up diorama story, makes me think of some of these diorama type of games we've played that we thought were super cool, where you can look in stuff, and now I get to do puzzles, I guess however you slice it up. I don't know how it just looks really cool, and like you said, it looks beautiful. So very intrigued. Definitely want to play it for sure.
Could be the next Tentacular, huh?
Yeah, it could be the next Tentacular. And Chris says Shores of Loki has a lot. It's charming. Has a lot of charm. It definitely looks. He was in the beta. It's a lot. He liked it more than Puzzling Places. So
there you go. See, this is the reason why I never really got into Puzzling Places. While upon second look, I will admit that it does look like it has more to offer than I initially had given it credit for. It seemed a bit bare bones to me as a VR experience. This, on the other hand, does not. This looks like something I would rather enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whoa, my computer doing weird stuff. Anyway, again, not have to wait long for this one. This one's out in 2 days. Roots priced at $15.
Oh wow! I wonder how long it is. That's not bad.
That's what she said. Anyway, other stuff coming out this week as well that I did not make part of the show. World of Mechs, probably the second most notable game that came out this week or is coming out this week. But I'm not much for multiplayer mech titles. If that game turns out to be the game of the year, we'll revisit it later. But Shores of Loki, definitely the one I've got my eye on for this week. As you can see here, Roots has moved on to the Viveport Report. Guess what? We do have a new title with Viveport Infinity this week, and it is, as you can see here, Area Man Lives. Now, let me make sure that that wasn't just part of regular Viveport. I might have that wrong. But I'm pretty sure Area Man Lives is an Infinity title, which is this is the perfect type of thing that you want to see on Infinity, right? A
Yes.
title like this that so many people are, have questions about. Uh, it always helps to have. Yes, it is in fact an Infinity title. It always helps to be able to play these games without having to pay for them. I know I wasn't about to pay for this thing, although I do think that the concept sounds intriguing. Um, Glad it's on Infinity. I'm sure I'll get around to it sooner or later because just because it is on Infinity.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the beauty of Infinity, right? Because I'm like you. I wasn't. I'm not gonna run out and buy this game, but I was intrigued enough to want to see if it's cool or not. Some people like it, some people don't. People that usually like everything don't like it, and then there's other people raving about it. So, what is this game? Well, now you can check it out for free if you have Viveport Infinity, and if you don't have Viveport Infinity, I'm starting to question your soul. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, do you not like VR games? What a craziness. So
That might be what it is, Roots. That it might just be people don't like VR.
you just don't like
Doesn't like
Ashi
VR.
Wash.
Who doesn't like Oshiwash, bro, or Taco Face?
Taco Face. Yeah, for sure. But so many amazing games for real though. And still the best deal in PC VR, hands down, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's something that all you have to do is just go look at the library of nearly 1,000 titles. Many of today's top releases, many of which are part of the subscription service on day one after they drop. So yeah. If I were Mr. VR consumer out there, I'm dropping the whatever $110 or whatever it costs to get a year of this thing immediately. And when you buy it like that and you pay for a year at a time,
Mm.
you get all sorts of cool freebies and stuff too that you get to keep in your library forever.
Yeah,
Specifically, right now it's Fracked. Like if you take an annual subscription today and pay for the whole year, they're going to give you Fracked for free. So
yeah. And you're already going to do it anyway. And it's not like you have to pay up front. You still pay monthly. You get a cheaper price. You get probably a half a dozen of games that everybody else doesn't have access. And these are the best ones. And so there's a lot of incentive to do it. And like, it's cheaper. Why would you not? And you're not paying. My biggest thing, like PlayStation Plus, a lot of times maybe I don't have enough to pay for it up front. And so I'm kind of pigeonholed into doing monthly or 3 months. They make it easy. They still bill you that monthly fee. You're just obligated to do it for that year, right? So
anyway, another great title, or another notable title, I guess I should say, adding to the Viveport Infinity library. How great it is, time will tell.
Yep.
Anyway, let's move on to our next reminder. This is the part of the show where we ask you to join us in taking just a moment to support our friends in the development community by wishlisting a title in real time right now. Let's all go together and do our duty as consumers and support the people who make these awesome games. And we alluded to it at the top of the show, Roots. Kind of a no-brainer this week for me. Lonn from 6 Cent Studios definitely got my attention this week. Well, quickly shooting into toward the top of my list of most highly anticipated games. Obviously, going to put this one on my wish list immediately.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm just clicking on it and Steam won't open it up. Come on, Steam. Don't be a dick right now. I'm on air. Thank you. Okay. Let's let me do it. I feel better.
It just takes a few seconds, man, and this was really a big deal for these developers. We've talked about it time and time again. What a difference it makes in the Steam algorithm with their placement in the store and the kind of promotion they get. Plus, I mean, they get to know how many people are interested in their game. And you get to know not only when the game becomes available, but when it goes on sale. So it's a win-win for everyone here, and it just takes a minute of your time in one click. So boom, just like that, it is on my wish list now, and we're going to be checking this one out as soon as we possibly can. Again, just beautiful. This is how you can tell how good Lonn looks, Roots. Is typically we ask people to share in the comments what they wish listed, and maybe one or two people will leave a comment in the chat uh, about what they literally wish listed during the show live. There was all kinds of people when we were at the top of the show talking about Lonn. Like, I just added it to my wish list. I just added it to my wish list. Like a lot of people were sharing it. Typically, we don't have very many people sharing it during the actual wish list segment.
Mm.
This week, all kinds of people were sharing it right at the very top of our show. So, that's a credit to again what a good looking trailer this is, and how excited people are to try this game out.
Absolutely. And Tech says he did Drunk or Dead 2, and Mepper wishlisted Shores of Loki and Lonn. So yeah, so let us know in the chat. Let us know in the comments below. What did you wish list along with us? And we all say we want better VR games. I'm like the biggest whiny bitch about it lately. But like 2 seconds, like Wes said, just take 2 seconds. Wish list what you want. Let the devs know that you're interested, and so that that's what they take to people they're pitching for funding, right? They're like, look at all these people that want to buy our game. You should support us. I mean, it all comes around. So take 2 seconds.
Yep, absolutely. So thank you to those of you out there who did take the time to wish list the game. Again, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you wish listed.
Yep.
Anyway, that's going to bring us to our fourth and final reminder this week and every week, and that is how you can do your part to support us, our community, and our channel going forward. Of course, the most important thing you can do, if you haven't done it already, what's the deal, man? Subscribe. There's a big red button there. All you got to do is click it one time. You're subscribed, but wait, that's not all. Ring the bell. You want to ring the bell so that you can be notified when I go live on Tuesday night or whatever day it may be with my gameplay streams. You can be notified on Wednesday when we're going live with Deep Rock Galactic, or Sunday when we show up here every week to talk about the news. So again, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell. Of course, for those of you who want to do something more, $3 per month, you can support us on Patreon, and you'll get access to our weekly show notes, insider updates, exclusive content, all for less than $1 per week. And again, it's a deal that's getting better and better all the time. So thank you to those of you out there who support us on Patreon. We really appreciate it.
And everything goes back into the show. Like, we literally don't spend anything on ourselves. It's all for either equipment or for games that we don't have access to. So we appreciate it. We couldn't do the show without you. And if you don't have money to give us, just being here, watching it, and clicking like, we appreciate that as well. That does it all.
Sharing with your friends. That's the big thing.
Yes.
Sharing on social media, telling your friends about the show. That's really probably the biggest, most important thing that anyone can do.
Yep.
So get the word out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, Roots, I read an article today, actually consequently linked in the on the cutting room floor. The FTC is about to crack down on these false marketing techniques. All these people out there, these fake influencers, are about to get reined in a little bit by the government.
That sounds good in theory. I don't know what that means. This is the thing, man. Like, that actually sounds really good, because like, we want the reality. We want who's like, we no more fake anything, right? But like, I've seen that be turned in weird ways as well. So it kind of makes me nervous. What are they going to do? What are they doing, Wes?
Basically, well, I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that they're doing, but the way I read it is they're going to start pressuring platform holders like YouTube to be more accountable regarding things like bot accounts. And
that sounds really good.
Yeah, sounds good. You know, I think in a world of complete transparency, our relatively modest numbers would be a lot more impressive. Um, in a world where all things were on the table.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, let's see. So we talked about subscribing. We talked about the Patreon. Let's remind everyone that they can get us 24/7 on Discord. There's an invitation down below. This is where we live, people. This is where we talk VR. It's where we set up multiplayer games. It's where we talk about anything, really. We're hanging out there again 24/7, 365. I always have Discord on my phone. It's the first thing I look at every day. There's the friggin' Left 4 Dead 2 mods on there right now. Yeah, if you haven't already, the door is in the description down below. Just click the link. Come on in. We'll be waiting there for you.
Yeah, it's come home. It's our family, right? It really is a family feel in there, which is awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Plus, you'll be reminded about shit like the Borderlands 3 that's free right now on Epic Games for a few more days. Again, go get that.
Yep.
Go get it while you can.
Absolutely.
Mind Job says, watch out. They might think a virtual show is fake. Well, we quit doing virtual show. Or what did we, no, we was a Monday show. We were going to call it virtual show, or did we call it?
We
virtual
did. It
show?
was virtual show for a little bit. There's been quite. I was just thinking about that the other day when I was doing the audio version because I'm labeling all the Strangers of the Night by numbers, right, and in a sequence.
Right.
And I was like, but everything else kind of just fell in it, and that I guess just the way it was, I guess.
Yeah, it was the Monday show first, and then it became virtual show because we couldn't do it on Monday anymore.
Yeah.
And then when we brought Masher in and did the channel rebrand, then it became Strangers in the Night.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
Anyway, we quit doing virtual show Mind Job, so we're safe.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's our show for this week. I want to thank everyone in the chat who showed up to hang out with us live, and I want to thank everyone who's watching this after the fact. We love you all, and we appreciate your support.
Yep.
And hold on real quick. Masher, check it out. VR Spry Guy says it looks like the Reverb G2 can be had for $350.
New?
I would assume so, yeah.
Wow. Well, Onikazi, you're gonna have to drop your price to 175 now because that's what he was saying he'd sell this to Mash for. 175 sounds really appealing.
Yeah, man, and I don't know. I don't know what Spry Guy's looking at, but we have seen that go on sale before, and I vouch for it. It is a quality headset. I'm only buying the Rift S for very specific use cases. I will not be using mine quite as much as Ruuts is using his, but with that said, I do look forward to getting my hands on it.
I wouldn't touch the Reverb G2 at this point right now, me personally, because I don't have a video card that's like if I had a 3080 Ti or a 3080, yeah. I mean, a 2080 you could push it really well, but if I got something that looks that good, I want to push the fuck out of it. Otherwise, I'd rather just
honestly
spend it on a video card.
Honestly, and this is the God's honest truth, the screens in that thing are such a high resolution and have such low screen door effect. Even when you downsample the games to like 80%, 70%, you barely notice it. Like it looks so good. Even at 70%, it looks great.
Wow.
So, yeah, I think you'd be quite surprised with just how good it looks.
Oh, wow.
And Spry Guy says Walmart and eBay, direct from HP. So there you go.
Wow. There you go, Mash. Mash is going to, I guarantee you should be ordering. You should be getting a processor, Mash, but I guarantee he's going to be getting that headset.
Oh, for sure. He can't help himself. He has to have every headset,
like
all of them.
Yeah, he's becoming that guy. He's becoming Z Storm Jr.
There you go. Anyway, with that said, friends, we'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Ruuts, I'm Wes. We'll see you very, very soon, friends. Bye now.
Take it easy.